The timestamp in the corner of the screen reads 3:17:02 a.m. The camera is an outdated Arlo model, mounted in the corner of a suburban garage in Portland, Oregon. The feed is grainy, washed in that sickly green hue of night vision. The garage is empty, or nearly so. A workbench, a bicycle hanging from hooks on the ceiling, stacked cardboard boxes labeled Christmas and books. Nothing moves. The air is still, the car is gone. The homeowner, a 34-year-old software engineer named David, is asleep upstairs with his wife and 2 children. At 3:17:03, a single pixel flickers. Not a glitch, not a bug. It is a pixel at the very edge of the frame near the garage's side door, the door that leads to the backyard. David will later spend hours zooming in on this pixel, convinced his eyes are playing tricks. They are not. At 3:17:07, the side door swings open. Not slammed, not forced. It swings open slowly, as if pushed by a draft. But there is no draft, the door is weather sealed. David checked it himself after the last storm. The door hangs open now, a rectangle of absolute blackness where the backyard should be. The night vision cannot penetrate it. It is not moonlight, it is not shadow, it is an absence. At 3:17:12, something steps through. It is not an intruder, it is not human, but it moves like one. It is tall, too tall for the door frame, yet it does not stoop. Its proportions are wrong, but only slightly. The arms hang too low. The neck is too long. The head is cocked at an angle that suggests curiosity, or perhaps confusion. It wears no clothes. Its skin, if it is skin, reflects the night vision in a way that makes the eye recoil. It looks smooth, but not like flesh. It looks like wet ceramic. It steps into the garage and stops. It does not look around. It does not scan the room. It stands perfectly still, facing the workbench, as if it knows exactly where it is, as if it has been here before. David will watch this footage 17 times before he calls the police. Each time he will notice something new. On the 3rd viewing, he sees that the thing's feet are not touching the floor. There is a gap, a sliver of shadow between the soles of its feet and the concrete. It hovers barely, like a heat shimmer. On the 7th viewing, he realizes the garage is colder in the footage than it should be. The night vision picks up condensation forming on the bicycle's metal frame. On the 12th viewing, he notices the boxes labeled Christmas and books are vibrating. Not shaking, not falling, vibrating. A low, imperceptible hum that the camera cannot record, but the effect is there, in the slight blurring of the cardboard edges. The thing stands there for exactly 34 seconds. It does not move, it does not breathe. At 3:17:46, it turns its head. Not its body, just its head. It turns to face the camera directly. The motion is mechanical, segmented like a bird's. Its face is a smooth oval. No nose, no mouth, no ears. But where the eyes should be, there are 2 shallow depressions, dark and wet, like the sockets of a skull left in the rain. At 3:17:47, it raises one hand. The fingers are too long, they bend at extra joints. It points directly at the camera, at David, at the screen, at you. Then it lowers its hand. It turns. It walks back through the side door, softly, as if pulled by that same impossible draft. The timestamp reads 3:17:52. The garage is empty again. The boxes are still. The bicycle hangs in silence. David finds the footage the next morning when he checks his phone. He had set the camera to alert him only for motion, but no alert came. He scrolls through the timeline, confused. The motion event is there. A single gray bar at 3:17 a.m. Duration 49 seconds. He taps it. He watches it. He watches it again. He calls his wife downstairs. She watches it twice, then goes pale. She says, "That's not a person." She says, "Turn it off." David calls the police. An officer arrives, watches the footage, and tells David it's probably a neighbor playing a prank. A costume, a drone. David points out the feet not touching the ground. The officer offers no explanation. David asks if he can keep the footage. The officer says yes, but he asks for a copy. He looks at David strangely when he says it, like he's seen something like this before. David spends that night in the garage. He sets up 3 additional cameras, 2 in the corners, 1 on the workbench. He stays awake until dawn. Nothing happens. But at 3:17 a.m. the lights just once. The garage door opener clicks as if receiving a signal. David checks the cameras the next morning. They all show the same thing. A single frame of static at 3:17:02. Then nothing. The static is not random. It forms a pattern, a shape, a humanoid shape, standing in the center of the garage. David moves his family to a hotel. He hires a paranormal investigator. The investigator reviews the footage for 3 hours. He asks David if he's ever seen this thing before. David says no. The investigator asks if he's ever felt watched in his own home. David pauses. He says, "Not until I saw the footage." The investigator nods. He tells David that the thing in the video is not a ghost. It's not a demon. It's something else. He calls it an observer. He says they don't know what it wants. He says they are not sure it wants anything at all. He says, it just watches, and sometimes it points. David does not sleep that night. He lies in the hotel bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the footage in his mind. The way the thing turned its head, the way it pointed. He thinks about that pointing gesture. It was not a threat. It was not a warning. It was something else. Something more unsettling. It was a recognition. The thing pointed at the camera, at David, at you, because it wanted you to know. It wanted you to see it. It wanted you to know that you are not the one watching. You are the one being watched. And at 3:17 a.m. tonight, wherever you are, check your cameras, check the corners of your room. The lights may flicker, a door may open, and something may stand there, in the dark, perfectly still for exactly 34 seconds. And if it points at you, do not look away, because it might not want you to see it. It might want you to know that it has seen you. You are not the one watching. You are the one being watched.